Hello truckers, welcome back to ATS. It's nighttime again. Nothing I can really do about it, but yeah, it's nighttime. We're still in the International. I almost said Freightliner there. That would have been... I wouldn't mind being in a Freightliner for a change. I don't think I've ever even driven one ATS, even a modded one. But yeah, we're still in the International. I thought we'd give it another week. Give it a whirl. I probably said about... I think the last time I said about 2 or 3 weeks, so we'll give it a try. But I love the looks of the truck. But the engine sound, for me, is just a little bit... I don't know. I don't want to say it's flat or anything. This isn't not to my liking here. But to go ahead and couple up to what our load is here. I'll show you what our load is. We are in Flagstaff, Arizona, by the way. Yeah, I don't like taking oversized loads usually. Because when I get to my destination, I've said it a few times, I like to be able to park my vehicle. And what I mean by parking, I like to back it up or into a tight spot. And usually these kind of loads, you're just pulling right on in. But like I said, we're in Flagstaff. I couldn't find anything, for a good sized video, putting out video on YouTube here. So, I mean, most of the journeys out of here were long ways away. So we're going to San Diego, which is 464 miles. So it's a good distance, not a long distance, but I was trying to find an interesting load at a decent distance, and this is what I came up with. So yeah, we're in Flagstaff, and you got me zigzagging through the city here just to get out. But we'll just go wherever the GPS takes us. And like I said, I apologize. It's nighttime. It's multiplayer server. What are you going to do about it? I have no idea. It is what it is. So an oversized load ought to be fun getting out of here in the multiplayer server. We'll see how it goes. Probably not well. I expect to get some damage on the way through. Just because it actually has been a while since I've done an oversized load. Hopefully no vehicles are coming any which way. But why, oh why, and I am noticing I am getting a little lag spikes once in a while. Once I get all my gears straight away. I didn't check all my gears, didn't check anything, just got in the game, started recording. I did remember to make sure my lights were on. So I did that once, and if your lights are not on, you will get kicked from the server. I thought I saw a car coming, or a truck coming, sorry. I mean, really, I get an oversized load, and it's got me doing this kind of a thing. No escort going through here whatsoever, but I think we're doing okay there. Stop. I usually do stop at stop signs, but oversized load, not seeing anyone coming that way or this way. I think we're all good. Alright, let me gather myself here. Alright. Yeah, I didn't want to do a long journey because I don't really have much time to record this episode this evening that I have, so I'm just glad I got a little time to get an episode out for you guys this week. And I don't want to miss my episode of ATS. I like being, I probably should be in this gear actually. I didn't check to see how heavy this load was, but I'll check in a minute. Because usually, like I said before, I get to the sequence of playing lots of ATS, and then I get out of it for a while, and when I get out of it for a while, it's like 3 or 4 months, and then when I get back into it, it's like, yeah, why do I just don't have enough time in the day to play all the games that you want to play, and for some reason, ATS seems to be that game that always gets put on the back burner. I'm like, I'll get back into it. But actually, I don't mind driving at night, but as for showing off a video, probably not the best. Let me go ahead and get in this middle lane here. Just because I think we're in the city, so I'm not going to be able to go too far. I was just checking out my fuel down there, and usually I fuel up my truck at the end of deliveries, but apparently I did not. Although it does say I can go 1,800 miles here, so that's good. Or is that okay? Well, never mind. I'm just going to ignore that fuel gauge down there. I'm not really sure if that's being completely true here. So it looks like we're headed down towards Phoenix. So this is not a contract that we're doing, is it? No, I don't think it's a contract I'm doing. Let me turn on some high beams so we can see what's going on up. Tons of people on the server this evening. Now, I do know that I'm recording this on Sunday night. What's the 26th of January? Whatever that Sunday is. So, in the middle of the day today on the multiplayer server, there was a huge convoy. I think they went from Las Vegas to Moab, Utah, I think it was. And I wasn't around to be involved in the convoy because that would have been a good time probably to join the multiplayer server in the convoy. But right now there's like 450 people on the server. There was a whole bunch in Flagstaff that we were just left. I think there was like 6 people in Flagstaff, Arizona. But with 450 people on the server, I'm sure we'll run across someone somewhere. Well, I hope we don't run across them. I hope we pass by them. And what I wanted to check was 43 tons. So yeah, I need to take it kind of careful on some of these bends and corners here. So since it's not that far of a drive, I will take my time getting there. I mean, safety first. Get your cargo there in one piece. Yeah, I really can't remember if this was a contract or if this was... yeah, it's a contract because it says how much time remains on a contract with the 20 some odd hours. This is not really an interstate because, man, this road is really windy for an interstate if that's the case. $43 tons, not too bad. It's one of the heaviest loads I've had for a while. And we'll say the Freightliner is hauling it pretty good. The one thing I don't get involved in when I'm on ATS, when I'm purchasing a truck, is I don't look at all the gear ratios, the transmission ratios. I kind of go by the graph that, it shows you when it's good for normal cargo, uneven terrain. I kind of look at that kind of stuff, but really when it comes down to it, you're really there just for looks. And like for me, I'm so used to a 12-speed transmission. That's where I always go, is I look for a 12-speed transmission, put it in there, that way I know my shifting sequence without even having to double think about it. Just trying to figure out if I need my high beams on or not. I try not to drive with my high beams on, but if it gets really dark, we'll have to turn them on just so we can kind of see. Yeah, I think we'll turn them on here. Just because just to make sure if someone's coming the opposite direction, I turn my high beams off for them. Yeah, so that fuel gauge down there is something I can go another. Yeah, so we're fine. So it must be. I think we fuel up at our garage, if I remember correctly. I'm just not used to this freight. Yeah, geez, there we go, Freightliner again. The international dash that I got going here. The digital display on the dash. I'm just not. Cause I think on the Volvo it shows one bar all the way over, and that bar looks awfully short. Oh, but it is what it is. As long as it's telling me 1,700, I think our journey was only 460. So if I run out of diesel fuel before I get there, something is wrong. I don't know what. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out. It seems like the last few times we did ATS, jump on the server, it's nighttime. At least it's not raining. I'm happy for that. There was a time I think it was doing nothing but rain. And I drove for a while before I started recording because it was raining and raining. I'm like, oh, the rain's going to stop eventually. It never stopped raining. Even though I got the percentage down to like 10%. I don't know if those settings... I don't know if on the multiplayer server, if the server takes over some of these settings for us. So like you cannot change the time of day. So like if you have like sleep on and you need your character needs to sleep, yeah, you'll sleep but the time of day on the map will not change. I turned sleep off a long time ago. Now I'm so used to driving without having to sleep. If I turn it back on now, my cycle I'd be passing out on the road. I have done that once because I pushed it in the early days when Coast to Coast came out. I had the sleep still on, and in the early days of on the Coast to Coast expanded map, there was long drives in between of rest areas and gas stations and what have you. And like, oh, I can go from like St. Louis, Missouri to Baltimore, Maryland. I got a couple more hours I can go. And yeah, I was passing on quite a bit. And it's like, all right, I need to turn that off. That needs to be turned off, and I don't think I've turned it on since. Although the Coast to Coast map does have a lot more cities and a lot more rest areas here and there, so it all works out rather well. Just double check. So okay, so the trailer's doing well, the cargo's doing well, the truck is just as fine as well. It's all probably wear and tear on the tires. I haven't grinded any gears just yet, but I'm sure when the clutch gets worn a little bit more, I probably will have. I don't think we want the next exit. It's already down to 300 miles, so won't be too long before we get there, but unfortunately, like I said, it's going to be an all-night drive. And even more unfortunately, when I get there, yeah, it's just going to be probably just a pull in and unhitch. I probably, when I couldn't find a lot of cargo out of there, probably should have looked into buying like a trailer or a tanker or something. But then you gotta, well, one of my garages is right there. I could have had it delivered right to one of the garages. And right there in Flagstaff, I could have went and picked it up. Of course, you know, hindsight's always 20/20. And we're a long ways from Flagstaff now, and we're only 300 miles from San Diego. Maybe while I'm in San Diego, I'll go visit the zoo. I like myself a good zoo visit. It's been a while since I've been down in this area of the map. I don't know, the engine sounds a little different this week than it did last week. But still, yeah, I don't know what it is about the sound of the engine on here, so slow down way too much now. I don't have the acceleration. But for how windy is it in here, I better slow down with the long trailer I got behind me. I'll just take up all the road gives me. I will stay on my side of the road, at least try to. And it looks like we are finally headed for the interstate. Don't know if I gave myself enough room on the corner there. I don't know why I'm peeking for it. I can just look at the GPS on the screen and look for blue dots, but force of habit, I guess. Take me a while to get up to speed here. Turn on my high beams. Sometimes when I get driving at the nighttime, you know, your mind starts wandering, and my mind just started thinking about the first time I got into Trucking Simulator. Of course, it was ETS2. Driving automatic with a keyboard. Yep. And I did that. I drove with a keyboard for about a year and a half. Or was it 2 years? Must have been like 2 years. Somewhere around 2 years I drove for nothing but a keyboard and ETS2. When ATS was coming out, I said, oh, here we go. Yeah, being from the States, you know, now it's starting to get in my area. I'm going to know where all these cities are. And I went ahead and got myself a steering wheel. And Track IR at the same time. And boy, was that... When you go from keyboard and getting your first steering wheel... I've had steering wheels before for PlayStation and what have you. But getting used to driving... When you've been used to using keyboard in a game, and then you switch over to a steering wheel, it's a learning curve. It took me like maybe 2-3 hours of gameplay before I started feeling comfortable. But yeah, all the years driving ETS2, I was using automatics. But once I got the steering wheel and the shifter, it's like, okay, we need to go to shifting. And the shifting part was rather easy, for me anyways. It was the use of the steering wheel, and of course, you know, learning how to do gear, go into Logitech Profile and get the steering wheel, the turn ratio. Degrees of rotation, that's what I'm looking for, degrees of rotation. And yeah, once you get your settings all set and get going, and it's like any game though, you got to play it for a while, get used to the mechanics and all that kind of stuff, and once you get the hang of it, I don't want to say it's a breeze. I mean, to me it seems easy, but some people probably watch my videos and go, man, you're driving all over the place. And I can only really drive in first person. If I go in third person, my truck will start doing this stuff. It's bad. But then when I play Farming Simulator, I prefer driving in third person, not first person. I don't know. I use the steering wheel in Farming Simulator as well, but I'm a weird one. But someone might say I'm a nut. So how are we getting along here? Alright, so there's another 100 miles off the docket. 200 more to go. So we should get there, according to the GPS, says I'll get there just before 3 o'clock in the morning. But as we all know, that GPS clock estimated time is never close. Yeah, the one thing I'm always looking for in the dash here on the International is I put in cruise control, and it's probably the display I got on. It doesn't show me when I'm on cruise control. And next week I may switch back. I may park the International up in the garage in Salt Lake City. I keep still wanting to say Denver, but it's Salt Lake City. Yeah, I need to go back to Salt Lake City, park this up, and grab my Volvo truck, I think. Hop back in that, maybe change up the paint job on that. It's the only thing I kind of miss in multiplayer is you can't have your modded paint schemes that you have. I realize that'd be really difficult for Truckers MP to have storage, but maybe if they gave us like where we can pay for storage on a server, but then every time they log in, will have to download your modded paint job. So that'd be really a pain in the you know what. Could you imagine logging on and being with 500 players you've never been with before, and you got to download like 500 different paint schemes because everyone's got their own paint scheme? Now, I'm not saying mine are the best out there at all. I mean, I just look at mine and go, they're okay. They look okay. But I've seen some on the World of Trucks website where you can go on and look at some, and they post them, and it's like, ooh, wow, okay, that's nasty. A little more work should go into that before you post it on the website, I think. Yeah, I pretty much do mine as basic, you know, just a flat color, and then on the back part of the truck with the sleepers, I usually stick some kind of an image. I think I got two ones I like. For Christmas, I have the Grinch on the side, and above the Grinch it says "Truck Off." But I think my favorite one's the one I do for Halloween with a Headless Horseman on it. That looks pretty nice on there. So I wonder if everyone's still like up in Utah from the Great Convoy this afternoon. I mean, it should have been over. I would assume that was over maybe like 5 hours ago. I'm recording this late on the Sunday night. It was supposed to start noon, I think 12 Eastern in the States. And I'm recording this at 9 o'clock at night, so I would assume that this convoy is way over. But if everyone's up in Utah and now we're going to be down the way southwest corner of the map here. Yuma, Arizona. I hit city limit, so we're going to slow down to 45 apparently. I'll just push in the clutch, and that way we can save some fuel here. Looks like there might be a couple people in the city. Better downshift, because when I finally get down to 45, I should be in 10th gear. Must be going downhill because I got the clutch in. We're not losing much speed. So how far is Yuma away from San Diego? Oh, 123 miles. All right. Actually, 10th gear might be too low for 45 miles an hour in this truck. At least with the transmission ratio that I got going for it. Oh, did I leave the city? Must be I left the city. Oh, high beam's on. Sorry, dude. Sorry, dude. That's my bad. I don't know why I'm yelling. I'm yelling to you. He can't hear me. Although he might be on the CB, but I got my CB turned off. Here, put the cruise control back on now that we're on the interstate. Well, we were on the interstate before, just in the city. Just looking at the gauges over there on the right-hand side. One of those gauges is reading 0 PSI. That wouldn't be good. I don't know what it's for, but if it's at 0 PSI... Unless that's my brake. Is that my brake? Yep, that's my brake. Alright, so that's fine. I'm like, okay, what's that show me the PSI of? Is that my air compressor? What's the deal with that? Alright, no, it's your brake, dude. Yeah, my horn sucks, so I'm not going to even bother. Yeah, we're driving through a city, so I'll leave the high beams off. It's not one of those dark nights, but there's sometimes, I remember one time driving up in Washington through the forest area on a side road, but a windy side road. It was like the middle of the night, and it was like dark. It's like lock yourself in the closet at 3 o'clock in the morning on a moonless night with a blanket over your head dark. You have left the city. Well, isn't that spectacular? Yeah, not much to see here. Since we're an open road, where am I bringing this to? Alright. HMS Machinery. It's always good to know when you get to town what company you're going to, because sometimes you're looking at your GPS and it brings you down a side road and there's one company on either side of the road and you're like, wait a minute, what am I doing here? Sometimes you know by the cargo you have. Who decided to put this in? Glad to slow down for that. I mean, if I got Walmart on one side and HMS Machinery in the other, and I'm drawing a milling, hauling a milling machine, and I'm like, does Walmart want a milling machine? Probably not, unless the parking lot's all dug up. Then I'm like, oh, maybe they're going to resurface the parking lot. But more than likely, it's going to be HMS Machinery. Yep, screenshot's going to be terrible for this episode as well, being pitch black like it is. I got to remind myself, so before, when I back this up, or yeah, back it up, when I pull into where we're delivering this to, I'll have to make sure I take a screenshot before I complete my delivery, before my cargo disappears, and hopefully there's enough flights at HMS Machinery. Yeah, it wasn't 11. Let me pick up the RPMs a little bit more. Yeah, we're going uphill. Must be one heck of an uphill. There we go. Burning through that diesel fuel. Now we get to go downhill. Might as well go right to 12th gear, I think. Oh. That's uncalled for. Hopefully I got a permit. Yeah, I know where to stop. Are we sure? They just knew I was coming downhill with a heavy load. It's like, let's make him stop. Probably I was stopped because I've never really been through here before on this profile, so I really don't know how those weigh stations actually work, how they're coded. I have no idea. There are some that always seem like you're stopping at no matter what, and there's other ones that you always go by and it's like, I never stopped there. San Diego, starting to see it on the billboards. I will say for the International, I don't know if it's going to be true for every truck, but I'm really quick shifting here and I'm not really grinding the gears. Oh, I need to get off this exit. And then turn right. My high beam's still on? Yes, they are. I don't think anyone's coming, but we'll come to a stop here. Just want to make sure, because I got to take up this entire lane here. Can't really see the back that well in the side mirror, so I think I made it wide enough. That's why I wanted to make sure no one's coming. I could have just just bullied my way out. But if another trucker was coming the other way with the same kind of load that I got, they would be kind of upset with me. Let me see if I can, should be able to start in 4th gear, I think. Just gotta be careful with the clutch so I don't let it out too fast. I mean, I do like the looks of this International truck, but I just would like to hear like more beefier engine. But in real life, you probably want it so it's quiet. Yeah, see, he could have been coming the other way. He's got a, what was that, a lifter? A crane, maybe? He probably came from HMS Machinery, so hopefully he left me a parking spot. Hopefully no one's coming this way. I'm turning way too fast for the load I got. That was way too fast. The good thing is, without even looking back there, but I didn't get stuck on anything. Now it makes you wonder if that guy right in front of us, did he pull out without even looking, or did he actually see me coming? It's like, well, might as well go first. Is he going to stop at the stoplight, or is he just going to turn? Yeah, he's just going to turn. Oop. I was not expecting a green light, but... road work ahead. Oh. Keep giving me a green light when I'm getting ready to slow down. I'm trying to enjoy the scenery a little bit here in San Diego. Stay classy. I do get a little nervous when I come to like these intersections, because you get some people that just don't care about the stoplights. But are they, are they looking for other truckers? Looks like I'm just going straight on in. Hopefully. Oh, goody, goody. I just want the parking brake. It's going to be hard to get a good shot at this. He's got his load. Actually, it's this button here will allow me to... Yep, okay. Up a little bit here. I may cut this part out and get in the screenshot, because it's not going to be that great of a screenshot in the middle of the night, but... And... there you go. Now let's hop back into the truck here, because I'm taking up a lot of space here. Let's go ahead and unhook that. Excelente. It's a pretty good experience, but I don't think it's going to get me to where I need to be. I'm trying to get that last little clip on my profile saying get all of my skills achieved, not achieved, but marked off here. Do I have the garage in San Diego? I do. And I haven't been there since the map has been updated or something, because I own the garage, but I haven't been there. It'd be a good place to go fuel up. So I'm ready for next week. Like, if you miss a couple of my episodes, I always try to, when I get done playing for the day, delivering my load, I always try to go to a fuel stop, gas up, fuel up, whatever you want to call it. That way when I log in next time, I just don't hurry off, grab a load, and get halfway down the road and go, oh, yeah, I don't have no fuel. one's coming, I believe. Head on down the road. We'll fuel up, and then I'll park in a corner somewhere, so when I log back in the multiplayer, I'm not spawning into someone, but sometimes you do. Now see, even on the multiplayer, there's no traffic coming the other way, because you can't. But I'm going to sit here until the light turns green, because I'm an idiot. Alright, red, are you going to turn green, or there's turn signals here? Hopefully there's no turn signals. Well, I do hope next week we'll get to drive during the daylight. And I feel like I'm kind of jipping all the international fans that are maybe watching out here. Like, dude, you keep taking the international out in dark. It's nothing I can do about it. I tried to advance time, but this ain't going to happen. Park and brake, turn the engine off. Gimme the diesel fuel, please. $329 in diesel fuel, huh? Can I make this corner here? Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't, depends on how far I pulled up. Too bad you can't park in the other parts of the garage, but what are you going to do about it? At least I am parking in the light here, right? Alright, so let's jump out of the vehicle. Kind of. Too bad you can't do that, but you know what I mean? Actually, if I get this way, will the light be better? Not so much. It's kind of hard when you got the two-tone metallic paint going and it's green and black. Well, there you go. That's probably about the best view you're going to get in the International for now. But that's going to wrap it up for today, guys. Hey, finally changed the license plate on my truck. I didn't do that last week, I don't think. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the episode. I do appreciate you watching as always. I'll catch you next time in ATS. But until then, where's my horn? Yeah, that's lovely. Have a good one.